What's up, guys? So yeah, Memorial Day kind of came and went. Most of you went down the shore, the beach or whatever, barbecue. And the rest watched war movies. Because that's what you do. It's a patriotic holiday, right? Um, and every TV network pumps out a lot of war movies. Um, one of my favorites in particular, aside from Saving Private Ryan, has to be Red Dawn. Love Red Dawn. Yes, from John Millis, 1984. Because there was a remake, and we're just not going to talk about that. Anyway, the cast in this is insane. There's a crap load of actors. I'm not going to mention all of them, but the most familiar ones to you guys probably will be Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, and Powers Booth. Just do a Google. Any of those names I mentioned. If you're living under a rock. Yeah, fantastic. Really, America, fuck yeah, kind of movie. Um, it's a what if scenario. So, see, in the 80s, there was like the Red Scare, they called it, and most Americans were afraid of communism. The Russians, that was like the big enemy back in the day. It's funny because they are, once again, yeah, we don't like terrorism. That's a big no no here regarding American values, but back then it was communism. And it's funny because the Russians are our enemies again, or they didn't stop being. I don't know. I don't follow modern things that much anymore. It's just all confusing. But anyway, this movie's fun. It's great. It's one of those kind of movies you could drink a beer to and watch it, enjoy the hell out of it. High body count and a very simple plot. Like I said, it's a what if scenario. So it takes place in the Rockies. A bunch of high school students, and one day, shit is the fan, pretty much. They get invaded by Russian and Cuban troops. So basically, the Russians and Cubans, obviously both being communist countries, were on the same side. There was a huge disclaimer before the movie started that told you what happened. So basically, famine kind of worldwide in certain third world countries. So I guess they kind of backed, the communist ones because, socialism and communism and whatever, bunch of revolutions happened, NATO dissolved, and this sets up what's happening now. And pretty much, it's a global thing, but we focus in Colorado, a bunch of high school students, like I said. And boom, the action gets right into it. Paratroopers come descend from the sky and wreak havoc on this town. And obviously, it's, I imagine, if this was to take place in the South, it would be the same outcome. A lot of these guys up north like to carry guns. And so, it's hard to do that when you're fighting a mobilized army. So, Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, and they get whoever they could go with them pretty much to make a dash to the mountains. Because, they have that, mountain man kind of background. They know how to hunt. And they do their best to survive. They do little hit and run targets because they're tired of being harassed, pretty much. The Russians know that they're missing, and it's a cat and mouse game, pretty much. Like I said, a lot of familiar people here, too many to mention, but obviously the big names being Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, and Powers Booth. He's a very familiar actor. You guys probably seen him. They're not familiar with his name, but just do Google. Anyway, yeah, it's a great story. There's really nothing wrong with it. Whenever it's on, I'll watch it. If I'm in the middle, the beginning, or the end, it's one of those movies I grew up with. I was introduced at a very young age. Like I said, is it, practical? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends, Given the state, how we are today, I'm honestly really surprised no one tried to invade us yet. But, given the distance of America, in the movie Red Dawn, so the Russians came in through Alaska and the Cuban forces came through Mexico, which actually makes sense. You could probably do that, if you wanted to. Because they would obviously the Cubans would control South America, the Russians, across the Bering Straits. Anyway, they made it make sense, Like I said, while it's highly imaginative, it's a what if scenario, If our defenses were knocked out completely, whether it be bombs that knock out all electronics, a nuclear attack to the Capitol to kind of cut the head off the snake. Um, these are, we have to think now, the real world practical things. Our enemies hide in the shadows. Sometimes the enemies come out right in front and show you the intentions, what they're going to do. And, given the state America is in right now, it's not a bad question, Definitely a what if scenario. Danger close, But yeah, I can't highly recommend this movie enough. The director, John Milius, he did Conan the Barbarian. So this guy right off the bat, he knows how to make a good movie. The cast, I don't have to speak for. Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, and the list of others that complement this movie. But yeah, great. I guess a frightening scenario back in the day. It's kind of not laughable, but it's like one of those movies. Like, all right, come on, But like I said, if America keeps going down this kind of crazy downward spiral path of seesawing, who knows? Hopefully, diplomacy wins over war. Hopefully. Anyway, yeah, like I said, definitely recommend this and check it out. Don't take my word for it. Like I said, watch the trailer or something. But yeah, highly recommend it. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to my little review about Red Dawn. Like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this movie. Like I said, the fact of it being maybe, not really a true to life outcome, but then again, who knows? Long story short, check it out. You won't be disappointed. All right. See you all very, very soon, and be nice to each other. See ya.